stuff going on down here this morning, I can tell you that. Whoa. Good morning. Here's your A440, and this is the tuning fork that I use every morning. This tuning fork is like a sacred little piece of equipment for me personally. And I learned really how important that tuning fork was by, I know it's reversed for you, but look at the hand here. Look at that really cool guitar design. This fella, sort of a famous guitar player, the second edition, Wind and Woolly Music by Tom Hoffman, 2 F's, 2 N's. And the guitar, it's called The Guitar, a unique and intimate language. And we're going to talk a little bit about that book today, because the more I think about it, the more reflection I put on my time with the late great Mr. Hoffman, the more I value like the depth of the approach to his guitar. So we're going to go through some of these ideas together starting this morning. We're going to continue along our path of making sure we're in tune before we get too far along. I'm going to drop a few breadcrumbs here and there. Really going to focus on some posture issues this morning. And I know it's difficult to do sometimes, but focusing more closely on the task at hand, which is actually the morning warm-up. I think we might be close enough to being in tune so that we can proceed with our proceedings. How do you guys feel about that? Is everybody doing well? Let's see who's here. Sometimes it's okay to get carried away by the guitar and just go with it. And what do you call it? Some of us call it, and it may be not exactly. I wanted to talk a little bit today about how to write a Grammy award-winning song too. So we want to cover a couple of those points. So we'll want to stick around. We're going to review some of what we've been doing on Monday and Tuesday, which is a triadic study, which I just sort of hinted at just now. So we're going to come back to and visit those parallel major and parallel minor chords and how powerful they can be and emotional they can be, which is one of the components of writing a Grammy Award-winning song, right? So one of the 3 or 4, pillars. Typically, there are 2 pillars, strength and beauty and wisdom, and then there's just the Jachin and Boaz, right? The 2 pillars on the front porch, the entrance of the front porch of King Solomon's temple. But it's we have 3 probably things we'll talk about. I wanted to just get ourselves dialed in, say hello to who's here, to who all's here, and take it from there. So I wish you guys all a good morning, and we're just going to hit it right here. Let's go ahead and say hello to Kevin. Kevin's our moderator, Mr. Blue Wrench himself, live chat moderator, keeps the morning light and lively. Robbie Smith, both of these fellas have been here from the beginning and are still here with us today. And we're talking about wrapping up. We're getting close to the end of our 4th quarter. We're starting to think about what's going to come up after the end of season 1 of the Morning Ritual for Guitar Growth. This is episode 226 today. And we're planning for 2026, and kind of a fun thing to talk about and to dream about. Is what we're doing aligning with your dreams? I hope so. And take these and apply these to your own dreams and your own growth. Kevin, morning, Robbie. All right, Mr. M. Fish, morning, everyone. Morning. Just a yeeter. Can you play Imagine by John Lennon? I can. What does the G scale, why does the G scale work so good with bluegrass? Oh, okay. All right, I see what's going to happen today. Good question. Very good question. I love how there's this like social discourse or the social intercourse between the live chat. It is a really good feel. It is a great thing to be part of. So I definitely appreciate you all being here every morning at 7:30 a.m. Even if it's a small pocket on the internet. I think it only takes a few. Do you know what I mean? To change things for the many. Are you using steel or nylon strings? These on this particular guitar, this Martin DX2E. It's it's one of the guitars that Mr. Billy Strings uses, and it's this one's a steel string guitar. It's got Kurt Mangan strings on it. I'm glad you asked because we use it's backwards. I'm live streaming backwards, but I use Mr. Mangan strings. Kurt's a good friend of mine from way back. I founded and directed a conservatory of music once upon a time, blah, blah, blah. And so we've been friends since like 09 or something like that. So you can see they're 12 to 56. So it's a little bit light on the top. And then it's a little heavier on the bottom. So you got a sort of a bluegrass phosphor bronze. They're not mono strings, but they are really great strings. So good question. Play Paseo by Sungadella, please. Oh, good morning, Arch Tribu. Good morning, Jill. Good morning, Jill. Lean on me. All right. So we've got a lot to talk about today. If you're still here, go ahead and smash that. Oh, we got Stan back in the house. We've got some new blood returning right here. Look at this, gang. This is great. What's the difference between British and American folk? Oh, wow. That's a great question. A lot of our folk tunes, of course, came over with us on the boats, right? The Yankee music is large in part built, so we go back to Northumbrian piping music, right? Some of that music from Northumbria is those piping songs have made it. They've survived over the years, over the centuries, and finding their way here into the Appalachian, and I have a video you're going to have to check out. Bear with me just for one moment, because I've got to share. If you're asking this story, this question, you got to see this video. A friend of mine, he's my British counterpart with the musical ambassadorship program, and his dad knows what I do, and thought I would appreciate this video, and I wanted to share it with you right now, because it's if you're asking these kinds of questions, you deserve these kinds of answers. And you can see that these things are amazing. You know, these are very simple. This is a link, I think, that talks about Appalachian or mountain music. And I would check it out. I would go ahead and check it out. And while I'm popping out links here, so if you don't yet have the official binder for the morning ritual for guitar growth, while I'm just taking a moment before we get some wicked late today. Wicked, so you can tell where I'm from. It's wicked late, so you can get this as the free binder for the morning ritual for guitar growth. It's the official binder. It's free to download. I would recommend you download it quick now while it's fresh in your mind, and this is really going to set us up nicely for the remainder of this year, and as we start approaching our time together next year, because things are going to speed up. You're going to shift gears a little bit, believe it or not. This was a long period of on-ramping, or onboarding, and things are going to change, and it does take time to change. Nobody likes change. Most changes is labeled progress, and I'm not a big, I don't really buy that all the time. I don't buy that change is always, I buy that slow, careful, studied change and observable change is sort of worth it. So we're not in a huge rush here, but check out those two videos. You check out the video and go ahead and download. Go ahead and grab yourself that binder, okay? And so let's talk a little bit about well, let's get going first of all on the morning ritual. I wanted to talk a little bit about, Kevin asked, why does the G major scale work so well for bluegrass guitar? That's a great question. And Mr. Brian Sutton is also a great, he's a great guitar player and a great singer, as you might observe from some of his albums where he sings. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about that. I know you mentioned Brian Sutton before, Kevin, so we'll get going on that. 1, 2, T, E, and a 4E. And we'll go ahead, and I know we've done this a little bit in the past, but I'd like to discuss a little bit more in depth, but I want it to be a super simple response. So here's the basic response, like, to why does the G major scale work so well for bluegrass music? Well, it works really well for bluegrass music because most of the string instruments that would play bluegrass, every open string is part of the G major scale. Every open string on almost, I think, every instrument, the instrumentation involved relating to what we understand as bluegrass, those instruments are large in part tuned to standard tuning, right? And so every one of those, well, guitars are at least, fiddles and mandolins, their standard tuning, upright bass guitars, banjos, all of the open strings natively live within the G major scale. So I think that's one reason. And then you and I know that a fine acoustic guitar, when you play the open strings, not only do we get the benefit of using the open string as a transitional tone from one position of the guitar to the next, but we do get a benefit of the ringing and the longevity and the sustain and the overtonal structure of a string that is open. Yeah, open strings sound great. They sound wonderful, you know, and I think that has a lot to do with validating why we might play a lot of, you know, G major, G minor, G combination scale, G mixolydian, G aeolian. Well, not so much aeolian, because as soon as we get to aeolian, we lose that E string. But we do kind of get the benefit of playing a sort of a blues style slur between the E flat and the natural E to the F, right? We do have a little bit of fun with all of those approaches. So when you're sitting down, Kevin, and when we're sitting down with the guitar, it's a good idea to just, you know this, but I like to remain in good posture and good humor, and a smile helps me to do that. Just smiling. I'm not trying to just recommend that you just walk around and smile like an idiot, you know, but I think smiling, and I'm not recommending that we walk around and smile like an idiot or be a fake sort of plastic person, but the simple act of putting a smile on the face literally changes and influences our brain chemistry, our brain chemistry. So, and plus the data show that if you do, when you do smile and others observe a smile, it too helps them to feel happier and feel more like smiling. So I think the smile, sort of like, you know, misery loves company. Well, I think a smile is contagious too, right? So I think it's important, you know, for whatever reason to go ahead and smile too while we play. So picking and grinning, super important. There's a reason why that's a saying. It makes it, you know, sometimes it's like a mustard seed from the Bible. Sometimes you plant the seeds and they blow away and never take root. But sometimes those seeds or those suggestions, like picking and grinning, sometimes they take root and we find meaning, and then they take up residency in the lives of guitar practitioners, you know. So fingers 1 and 3 on frets 9 and 12. Let's go ahead and use this 1 and 3. So what Joe Pass is one of the world's greatest guitar virtuosos. You know, he's in a handful, a small handful of the world's finest, right? I think, you know, in the opinion of many. So what we've got to do is let's provide ourselves with limitations. Let's say we're only going to use these 2 fingers, Kevin. So we have these 2 fingers, and if you study my channel, you can go back and take a look at you probably remember the video that I did where it was like a blazing hot bluegrass lick, but with only 2 fingers. It was fingers like 1 and 2, and it was all over the guitar net. And what we want to do is we want to put ourselves in a situation where we're, number 1, listening all the time, just listening to and absorbing whatever kind of music we can whenever, sort of like Joe Bonamassa's new record Breakthrough. You know, if you listen to Joe Bonamassa's new record Breakthrough, it will be like, you know, oh yeah, the blues ain't dead. The blues is still very much alive, and there's a Titan right here just preaching it. He's preaching it to me, and you're gonna love like just finding new things that just kind of bite you. They'll bite you. You know, they get a hold of you, under your skin. And so once you start finding those things, before we move on to fingers 1 and 4, let's take a look real quick at what we can do if we only use fingers 1 and 3 and we start on key of G. So I'm going to start with a G run, and the obvious thing to do starting on a G run is to start with the open G string. And I remember I'm only using these two fingers. I can't use finger 2. So open G string obviously makes a lot of sense, especially if we're in the key of G. And look, I'm using fingers 1 and 3. How am I going to finger out a G chord with just 1 and 3? Well, I could use fingers 3. I can use G7 here. I can use G9 with a 3 in the bass. And I can use a sus4 with the, and an add 4 or add 11 with the 5 in the bass. And then you might want to get that sort of like that flat 7 and then the sharp 5 on the melody. That also works. Like, you try to find the simple shapes that just work with limitations that we have, you know. Might not sound great, but if you finger pick it or cross pick it, I'm sure you can find a way to make that work, you know, some kind of rhythmic or harmonic structure to make it work. You could turn that into a Grammy award-winning song if you wanted to practice your craft and get those emotional things moving and those culturally significant things moving. So let's take a look at what happens. I'm using fingers 3 and 1, and then I'm moving between G7 and then G with major 3 in the bass, and then the 9 on the top, and then the 5 with the 11. So I can play an 11. I can play the open the 9 in the 11. So now I have all of those, but I have also the open, the 6, or the 11, and the root. I can also use that. I think if you had just a little bit of time to work out a few lines. What is it? And then you can work back and forth between the major and minor thirds, right? You can have just a lot of fun, even if you I'm just frigging around here, but if you put a little effort into it and write these things down and start with the limitations that we have, we can really have some fun, you know what I mean? So let's just jump back into those fingers 1 and 4, and continue along with our warm-up. We'll start, so 1E end, 2E end, TE end of 4, fingers 1 and 4, 7 and 12, and we'll probably truncate this a little bit. We have a lot to talk about. We want to get back to the triads, and we want to get back to just the continuity from whither we travel. And as we're traveling from, where are we traveling? Toward the east, or to the west, the north? So we want to maintain our bearing, I guess is what I'm saying. is we want to be able to maintain our bearing so that we don't continue to just go around in circles and just dub around. You know, it's okay. It's okay if we want to just kind of play around with the guitar or explore music or experiment with music. This is a great place to come and do that and see like how easy and how good it can be when we walk together in harmony and we don't have those sort of differences. We're all sort of, this is a great place to insert a little introduction from my good late peer and friend. So this is a rare book. It's a rare book, and so the table of contents, technique, tone production, arpeggios, tremolo, left-hand exercises. So this is called The Guitar, a Unique and Intimate Language, and it's harmonic minor tonalities, scales, octaves, chromatic approaches, modes, fingering pattern, guide tones. And I just want to read you the first paragraph, and this is going to be something we continue to talk about as we go. So, a person, this is the preface of the book, and it's all in handwritten calligraphy, right? And so you can see what's going on here. The care with which this book was created, I'll need to do something to preserve the book at some point. A person has thousands of words in his vocabulary. He's talking from his own person. He never uses them all to make a statement, right? And we were just talking about limitations. I haven't read this for years, right? Years. And he's right here talking about limitations. But he has them in his unconscious mind to use as the idea strikes him. This concept holds true for any language, whether it be English, Spanish, Swahili, or Dolphin. Though these languages are quite different from one another in sound, the structure of each one allows communication of complete thoughts, right? So that's the important piece of this. We'll come back to visit that a little later. But the important thing is to gather up all of the pieces so that we can sort of we have ownership over a multitude of pieces so that one day we might complete a full, robust, deep, meaningful, and unique and intimate language on our guitar. That's the hope, I think. That's the hope. That's part of why we're here, I think. Yeah. So we did 1 and 2. We did all of these things. We did all of the 2-finger permutations. Now we're going to get on with, we're skipping over 3s. We're going to get right to 4s. So we're at the top of the hour, and this is where we're a little behind. We're going to play some makeup. So 1 and 2, you know what to do. I have a feeling you know what to do. Oh, did I miss something? I think I missed something. TV. Can you do 1,000 years? Oh, wow. Play on the Phrygian dominant. Oh, that's really cool. That's your YouTube handle? Is that what? Wow. That's cool. Can you do 1,000 years? I'm kind of struggling a little bit to kind of make that reference. So this is very helpful, Stan. Thank you, Stan. I appreciate that. I'm glad to hear that it's helpful to someone other than my own person. You know. So when we we have Dante walking us through the Inferno. When we see the sign, "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here," maybe we turn around and just go the other direction. Maybe we just go the other way. Run like heck. And don't forget, picking and grinning is a real thing. It's a real thing, and there's some science behind it. And it's not just to create a community of cultural smiling idiots. It's really not about that. It's about sharing the goodness and sharing the joy of life. It's a very simple thing to do. but it's also sometimes I've got to tell you, because I'm human too, it's also, it can be very, very difficult to access sometimes. And that's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. Yep. All right, 1, 2, 3, stretch 4. We'll do fingers 9, 10, 11, and 13. 1 E and a 2. You know what to do. All right, let's see what we've got here. You guys all set? You guys doing well? I know you're probably practicing along because you're realizing, like, oh yeah, this is actually where the rubber meets the road. And if I don't practice these things, then I don't get the benefit of, I can say it all day long, but until I play it, until I do it, it don't mean a thing. It don't mean a thing if it ain't got that swing. And one of those other things, like rhythmic breakdown, super important, I think, for writing a Grammy award-winning masterpiece. But there are a few. I have notated a few random references from like 2020, the song, you know, Song of the Year, Country Song of the Year, 2020 or 2014 Song of the Year. We'll come back to that in just a moment. Just need to get through this kickstand exercise that's coming up. It's coming right up, so just hang in there. You know, this is great time. This is great opportunity to be playing on the backbeat of the metronome. We're not pushing, we're not pulling too hard on the time this morning. We're just kind of working our way sort of gingerly through the tulips, you know, tiptoeing through the tulips, if you will. Good. All right, excellent work. And I'm going to change my lap. You know, what I like, one thing I really like to do is, it's important to change the lap. Oh, you're more than welcome, Stan. And you're more than welcome. Thank you kindly for bringing that up, Kevin. I really appreciate you raising that question. Hey, Jody Damons, are you still here? Are you still here? If you're still here, I'll play Lean On Me, but if you're not here, I'll keep moving along. All right, so let's go ahead and get right to the edge of the frame here, and we'll start with a kickstand. So did you know there's a guitar named after this exercise, the kickstand? So it's called kickstand, and Jill, a woman who, she's right here in the live chat, and she built a guitar, hand-built a guitar, a beautiful guitar, and really named it, kind of nicknamed it Kickstand. So what a great honor to have a guitar in hand that's called a kickstand. Imagine it, just imagine it. Yeah, so we're going through and we're just talking about getting that first finger stretched back. It's kicked back 1 fret. So we're getting a little extra stretch on that. And you can go and look at the guitar kickstand if you like. It's on my, right here on YouTube at Jason Carey Guitar. It's on my, my community tab, my posts tab. So if you go directly to youtube.com/@Jason Carey Guitar, you'll find my page, and then you can shuffle on over to the posts and scroll down through, and you start seeing a handmade guitar. That's Jill's guitar. That's Ms. Bourgeois' guitar. Yeah, right? Oh, she's giving us a little wave here. Perfect. So we're getting through, and we're coming to the end. We're nearing the end of our quote, unquote, warm-up. This is legitimately what I actually do every day, and I thought it would be a good idea to film it for the entire year of 2025. So I do this for free every weekday morning at 7:30. yeah, so you can join me and take your guitar wherever you'd like. You know, this is a great place to be if you're a beginner contemplating. But we're going to take the first video I did, 2025, the last video I'm going to do, 2025, and we're going to compare the two and see what 260 hours of warm-up time actually does for us longitudinally. How does it benefit us? Is our posture better? Do I speak better, more clearly and with more conviction? Do I have a more intimate and unique relationship developing with my guitar? Yes, I do. And do you, more importantly? Hey, did you see this one, Raul? I see Raul's on board here. Let me show you this real quick. Oh, where is it? Have you heard that before? It's called Memorize. Did I play that for you before? It's 7/8, and it's playing over 4/4 metronome. So it's a little bit of a trick, but I thought you might enjoy that. You know. So it's 1 2 1 2 1 2 T 1 2 1 2 1 2 da da 1 2 1 2 1 2 T 1 2 1 2 2. So 1 2 1 2 1 2 T 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Take all day, made a few new friends, relationship begins. Deep inside my eyes, I lay my memories. Take them if you then verse 2, and so on and so forth. A fun little song to play. So let's go ahead and get back to the 1 2 3 4 exercise. We'll get through this this diagonal pattern, and then we'll use down up, sort of a binary pattern for the pick hand, and then we'll go back to 1 2 3 4 attacks per beat. 2 T, nice and square on the right on the dot. Thank you very much, Robbie. Thank you very much, Rob. We've got a new face here. Kara. Is that Kara? Katter. Okay, good morning. Good morning. Great to see you. I've heard through the grapevine you will continue the morning ritual into 2016. Yeah, that's the plan. It's going to look a little different, but it's going to be the same old free sit down, sit around and get the job done, And then there's going to be some additional sort of benefits to it. And if you don't yet have it, I pinned, I know most of you have it, but if you would like the official morning ritual for guitar growth tablature, that PDF binder, it's free, so you could download it. It's right here pinned. It's the pinned link by Jason Carey Guitar in the live chat. So you go ahead and grab it. It's yours, free. You might need it. Chances are good you're going to need it. And get all practiced and get ready to shed, because we're going to use all of these things and we're going to compress our time together so that we get more done and with more accuracy and more a higher rate of completion. So we actually get through a larger chunk of our warm-ups faster. And we're going to do that. We're going to start talking about that, but we're not there yet. So we need more downloads on this thing right here. So if you're going to be here, if you plan on being here with us, let's get going on that. We'll enjoy that together. All right. All right. Let's go ahead and I love seeing the fire, the guitar fire, the guitar fire, the guitar. That's a really cool set of emoji, right? Very cool. Let's do one more thing. Let's read another quick passage, because if Raul's still here, Raul will get a kick out of this. This is a good friend of mine. He's the late, great Tom Hoffman. And wrote a few things, but this is one that we worked through together early on. It's called The Guitar, a Unique and Intimate Language. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. And you'll see that this is all it's all handwritten, and it's calligraphy, right? Handwritten calligraphy. So you don't actually see that a whole lot anymore. I mean, I don't know. You might see a lot. The table of contents is just robust technique, tone production, left hand tremolo, speed, arpeggios, left hand slurring studies, right hand patterns, note groups, staccato, blah blah blah. Flat pick technique, which include, instead of finger style, just using a pick. Your Jazz 3 or your Wiegand pick or whatever you use for your pick. Scales, arpeggios, pentatonics, movable, minor, combined major, minor pentatonics, harmonic minor, melodic minor, major, and there's a lot of great stuff here. We're talking about traditional melodic minor scales, octaves, sixes, voicings, major, minor, diminished closed voicings, full chords, open strings, Kevin, open strings, 2-5-1s, how to process through those, 2-5s without the bass, so we're talking about guide tones basically, chords of plurality, altered dominance, voice lead. I'm just going to skip through. It's a pretty substantial effort here. Guide tones, comping, harmonics. So we read the preface, and that basically, I'm going to read through it one more time. A person has thousands of words in his vocabulary, and it's all calligraphy, right? He never uses them all to make a single statement, but he has them all in his unconscious mind to use as the idea might strike him. This concept holds true for any language, whether it's English, Spanish, Swahili, or Dolphin. And through these languages, or though these languages are quite different from one another in sound, the structure of each one, the structure allows communication of complete thought. So we're here basically putting the pieces together, and we're putting the pieces together, and then we're going to look for a complete thought. So that's what we're up to. Got to run a little early this morning. Have a great day, everyone. Until tomorrow. See you later, Kevin. Thanks for being here, my friend. Thanks for being here with us and guiding us along. And you have a super day today and every day, my friend. So we started with, earlier this week we started with, and we're just going to review because we're in our last 15 minutes and we just want to review the place from whence we came. We came from C, E, G, nice closed position triad. You know, we started working on pushing that around the open position. So instead of playing C, E, G all the time, we could play E, G, C, or invert those notes, or E or G, C, and E again. And then our good friend here, Raul, knows all about these arpeggios. Really great, great player. So if you haven't checked out Raul's channel, please do. Raul's got some really great stuff and great think going on on his channel. So we're super thankful that you check in here and hang out with us. So then we started getting out of the open position. We moved to the 3, the 5, the 1 on the, you know, we have the root 3, 5, and then the 3, the 5, the 1, and then the 5, 1, or 5, 1, 3, and then 1, 3, 5, and then we basically just kept moving those around the guitar neck, you know. And then eventually we come back to the place from whence we came. And then I talked a little bit about this morning about, you know, basically using the D chord. So we could use the D chord to kind of shuffle about, playing Mr. Minko. Good morning, Mr. How you doing today? We've got the D chord and we're just strumming away. But what happens if we make that 5? What happens if we make the 5 a sharp 5? And then what happens if we make that sharp 5 a 6? And then that 6 a flat 7? So we're starting with basically like, how do we use those triads that we know to find new paths forward, exciting paths forward? Well, the very first thing I like to do is just to try moving those notes around. So let's say I know the D chord. Oh, give it a little smoke and mirrors here. So let's say I know the D chord, and the D chord's this, or you know, this, where I capo the D, G, and B strings, and then plug in that second finger on the fret 3 on the B. So that could be the open D, the 2, and then the 3, and then the 2 on the top here. Or it could be this. Or it could be the last 3 fingers, you know, in case I want to move it up here. If I need to know how to play that D chord as an E flat, I know how to do it. But before we even do anything at all with it, I can start by removing fingers, right? So that still kind of could function as a D chord if I'm playing the D chord as the bass note. But I have the bass note instead of the root 5, root, and 3. Now I've got the, I was here the other day. Oh, Eva Rose, glad to see you. Glad that you're here. And then Mr. Minko, I'm glad that you're returning. This is a very exciting moment for all of us here. Thank you for returning. I'm glad. Hopefully you return with a guitar in hand and you play along with us in the mornings at some point. Hopefully we have some time to do. We have the pleasure of doing that together sometime, if we aren't already. So root 5, root, and then 3. But now I'm just removing that first finger. So root 4, 3, 2, right? And then, you know, maybe You know, you could use it in like Glendale Train. Somebody run Glendale Train this morning. Dun, 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 dun. Right, he made clean off with 15 G's. You know, left two men lying cold. So, or if you're into Dave Matthews, Mr. David Matthews. I know I get pushback on saying David all the time. Mr. Matthews himself would say, "Where are you going with your long face pulling down? Let's find ways to expand on that D note, that D chord. Just kind of pulling fingers off and adding them back." With your long face pulling down, don't hide away like an ocean. Something like that. You could also remove the third finger, right? And you get these really cool, like Joni Mitchell sort of sonorities, you know, the added D chord with the added 6. So if we wanted to invert that, what would that look like? So we have the 5, the 6, and then the 3, so that would, 5 would move up to the 6, and then the 6 would move up to the root, and then the 3. So we almost have like a, let's move that 5 up to the, that 3 up to the 5. So it becomes a really nice thing to kind of move around the guitar neck. It becomes different than just sort of transporting that triad up and down the same old way, the same old path. Right, you could have the root 3, the 5, and the 6 instead. The root 3, 6, or the root 3 and then 5, or the 9, 3, 6. But what we're doing is we're basically starting here at first, just seeing what we can do. So if I can open that up and remove the third finger and add the 6. I can also remove the second finger and add the 9. I can suspend the use of the third in the chord by adding the 9. Yeah, and that's a really important thing to remember, because once we do that, now that becomes it becomes a chord that's neither major nor minor. And then when we have a chord that's neither major nor minor, it's a suspension. We're suspended in harmony, and it's a very distinctive sound. So that 9 is also the same thing as if we were to take the 5 off and open up the 4. And there's, you know, there's a lot of room to be exploring that. Hey, stale fish, good morning. There's a lot of room to be exploring that boom chick pattern. So there's the, you know, boom chick, boom chick, boom chick, boom chick. That's where the songs are, that's where we find the songs, right? So if we wanted to write a Grammy award-winning song, I took a couple notes this morning. If I wanted to have a Grammy award-winning song, like part of what I would do is understand what makes a winning song, firstly. So I'd take a look at, you know, past winners like Billie Eilish's Bad Guy. That was 2020 Song of the Year. For, you know, it's got a minimalist, sort of infectious hook. Casey Musgrave's Merry-Go-Round, that was 2014 Best Country Song. And just check out the storytelling. And you want to notice the balance of universal, like the love, the struggle, the identity, and align it with your own strengths. If you are writing a song, then aligning it with your own strengths will make a big difference, right? And then craft a compelling story. That's one of the most challenging pieces, is crafting the story that's needing to be heard or wanting to be heard or absorbed. Personal, sort of like, and universal at the same time. Those are hard things to accomplish. Drawing from, of course, from your personal experience or research, but keeping it authentic to who you are. Using vivid imagery and economy of motion or whatever, you know, just keeping it simple as possible, and just nailing a song structure. So we've got to want to basically have the song start out, move somewhere, come back to the place that's familiar, and then move somewhere new and fresh, and then, you know, bringing it all home at the end with some sort of resolution, right? The contrast, the hook is the king, though. You know, the hook, where's the hook come from? You know, that's a really interesting discussion, right? Those are all things that we talk about in the inner circle, right? So I'll talk to you more about that as time comes along. And then, you know, basically focusing on melody and harmony. And we're going to focus on melody and harmony a little bit. That's kind of what we're doing. We're developing the tools and the skill set to be able to build these things for ourselves using the guitar or piano or whatever instrument that we might have access to. And then, you know, putting a little polish on it at the end, the polish and delivery, and that can all help. You know, the presentation helps. Production, and then, you know, navigating the Grammy submission process can be a real pig scramble, I would think. So, we've got a friend who we've had some of our recordings go through. Adam Ayen's been he's been producing a lot of engineering, mastering. He's a well-known mastering engineer, and he's had the privilege and the honor of mastering a lot of Grammy award-winning musicians, you know. And so staying persistent and authentic, that's an interesting thing. And that's, I think, what we're trying to do here is just keep it real. You know, keep it real while we develop, you know, real potential to actually do some damage. You know, I know just enough about the guitar to be dangerous. You know, we want to kind of go, I want to just kind of get above and beyond that a little bit, just a little bit. But, you know, at the same time, it's important to be happy with where we are right now. And that's why I'm so thankful that you're continuing to join us every weekday morning here on Jason Carey Guitar on YouTube at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time for about an hour. And right now we're at the bottom of the hour. I think we've got to get moving. I think Tweety is breaking in nicely. Sounds really good. Thanks, man. Thanks, Robbie. Yeah, it is sounding pretty good, isn't it? It's just a really great guitar. I mean, of course, you could look at it like, you know, what a miserable, cheap guitar. It's not an $8,000 or $15,000 guitar. I don't want it. Or it's, you know, maybe too much guitar for me because it's not a $350 guitar or a $50, you know, Craigslist find. But I think finding just the right balance of happiness and joyfulness is great. So that comment resonates well. And with that, I'll leave you. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And until we meet again tomorrow morning, I wish you all happy picking.